It's an all-animal edition of Goodish News today, because when humans let us down, we can always turn to our furry, scaly, and feathered friends to pull us through. Welcome to the Goodish News channel. I'm Ashley, your professional pessimist. In an effort to be more optimistic, I'm bringing you news stories that won't fill you with existential dread. If you're looking for hard-hitting journalism, you're in the wrong place. But if you're like me and you need a break from all the noise, stick around and maybe we'll both feel a little bit better when this is over. Have you ever looked at people who spend their time rescuing animals and wanted to do the same yourself, but you can't tear yourself away from the latest episode of the Kardashians? Well, what if I told you you could do both? For the last few years, people from around the world have been working together to help thousands of fish in the Netherlands make their way upstream during the spring. But what makes these Dutch fish so needy? They're simply trying to make their way to warmer waters to do what nature intended, make more fish. The only problem is there's a lock that stands between them and their springtime spawning party. But some people from the Dutch city of Utrecht had a pretty ingenious idea: a doorbell. A fish doorbell, to be specific. Here's how it works. The city installed an underwater camera at the Worsless Lock. This camera live streams to a website where viewers from all around the world can watch. When someone spots a fish, they can click a button that acts as a virtual doorbell, alerting the local water management workers. During this time of year, the locks rarely open because there's very little boat traffic. Normally, the fish just swim through with the boats. But when there are no boats, the fish get backed up behind the locks, leaving them vulnerable to predators and preventing them from spawning. One might call them reproductively frustrated. The brainchild behind the fish doorbell is Mark van Hukelum, an ecologist and concept designer. He, along with Anna Nijs, an ecologist with the Utrecht municipality, noticed the problem and came up with the idea.
I guess the combination of a good cause, a beautiful story, and just a simple idea generates all this attention.
And attention it's getting. The fish doorbell, now in its 5th year, has captured millions of watchers from all around the world. It's a very low drama reality show with people tuning in from as far away as Australia and New Zealand. I'll leave a link to the doorbell in the description of this video. Don't feel bad if all you see is a few bubbles though. But you might get lucky and spot a stranded bass who just wants to meet a nice girl, settle down and have kids. Last year alone, the website had 9.3 million visits, and the fish doorbell was rung over 40,000 times. But it's not just about helping fish migrate. This project is also providing valuable data for scientists. They're learning which species pass through the locks, what time of year and day they swim by, their size, gender, and any changes compared to the previous years. They've even spotted some unexpected visitors like eels, which are actually traveling in the opposite direction on their way to the Sargasso Sea, 3,100 miles away. So the next time you're vegging out on the couch and that nagging feeling sets in telling you should be doing something productive, just turn on the fish doorbell while you watch Chloe and Tristan break up for the 5th time and tell that feeling to go kick rocks.
Liar! Liar!
Good news for some of the most overdressed birds on the planet. Conservation groups and the South African fishing industry came to an agreement to help protect the African penguin. African penguins are the only penguins found in the Old World and are only found on the southern and southwestern coast of Africa. They're known for their distinct pink patches of skin located above their eyes. Unfortunately, these little tuxedoed flightless birds have struggled to keep their numbers up, thanks to things like overfishing, oil spills, and habitat loss. Once, there were over 1 million breeding pairs. Now, less than 9,000. This actually makes them the rarest species of penguin, and they're currently classified as critically endangered. If their population continues to decline at the current rate of 7.9% per year, experts fear they'll be extinct by the year 2035. Yep, just 10 years from now. One of the biggest problems? Humans have been snatching up all their food. African penguins have a diet largely made up of small fish like anchovies and sardines. But for some reason, there are a lot of humans who also like to eat those same fish. I'm not one of those humans, and I'm not going to yuck anyone's yum, but imagine someone going into your house, opening your refrigerator, and taking all of your favorite foods. You'd probably get pretty angry and hangry. I bet the penguins feel the same way, but they're very proper ladies and gentlemen, so they're not going to say anything about it. So it's up to us humans to turn things around. And in a shocking twist, people actually worked together and agreed on something. After years of debate, conservationists and the fishing industry reached a deal. A true miracle in the modern world. They agreed to no fishing zones around 6 major penguin breeding colonies. These protected zones stretch about 20 kilometers, or for those of us who live in a country that chooses its own system of weights and measures, that's about 12 miles. By keeping the fishing boats at bay, these dapper birds have a chance to chow down without having to compete with nets the size of football fields. Of course, this is just the tip of the iceberg. The penguin still has challenges ahead, like dealing with habitat destruction and climate change, but at least they won't have to fight humans for food anymore. Small victories, people. And while there's still a lot of work to be done, conservationists are chalking this up as a peng-win. I'm sorry. That was really bad.
I'm just gonna hop the fence and jog home now.
This next tale of adventure rivals even Robinson Crusoe. And with just that hint, I bet you can already guess what I'm talking about. Iguanas. I'm sorry it was so obvious. Yes, those chill lizards you see sunbathing in the tropics. I'm talking about the incredible journey of the Fiji iguana, which apparently holds the record for the longest overwater dispersal of any land-dwelling vertebrate. That's a lot to take in, so I'll break it down. For years, scientists have been scratching their heads trying to figure out how iguanas ended up chilling on the remote islands of Fiji and Tonga, thousands of miles away from any other iguana relatives. It's like finding a McDonald's in Antarctica. But now, a new study from the University of California, Berkeley, and the University of San Francisco might have cracked the case. The research suggests that these iguanas hitched a ride, a very long ride, all the way from North America, over 5,000 miles across the Pacific Ocean. These guys basically packed their bags and set sail for Fiji. That actually sounds really nice. But we're not talking about a luxury cruise liner here. Imagine a bunch of iguanas, eggs and all, getting swept away by a cyclone, clinging to uprooted trees and plants and drifting across the ocean for who knows how long. How do scientists know this? Well, by analyzing the genome-wide sequence DNA from over 4,000 genes, they discovered that the Fiji iguanas are most closely related to the North American desert iguana. It's unexpected to say the least. It turns out that the desert iguana's tough nature might be the key to this incredible story of survival. These iguanas are resistant to starvation and dehydration, making them the perfect candidates for surviving a long sea voyage. As researcher Simon Scarpetta put it, if there had to be any group of vertebrate or any group of lizard that really could make an 8,000-kilometer journey across the Pacific on a massive vegetation, a desert iguana-like ancestor would be the one. This theory might seem far-fetched, but scientists have observed iguanas making modern-day ocean voyages in the Caribbean. These trips aren't 5,000 miles long, however, but researchers tracked a group of 15 iguanas that traveled 186 miles on a tangled mass of trees after a hurricane in the mid-90s. While the trip from North America to Fiji was a lot longer, Scarpetta also pointed out that iguanas are herbivores and could have used the vegetation they were floating on as a source of food. Given the iguana's ability to survive in less than ideal conditions and its floating source of food, maybe their journey isn't so far-fetched after all.
There has been no reason to throw our food in the water as bait when we have no means to catch the fish.
We all know that now. It's easy to say that now.
If you're looking for more good news in your life, be sure to check out my video from last week, where I discussed the discovery of 128 new moons orbiting Saturn, how playing with dogs doesn't just benefit humans, and a 4-year-old who called the police on a snack thief. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and we can ignore all the bad news together.